This is the part where I can shine. Hey babe, I'm finished. I feel like we can finally get back to living our lives now that this cabinet project is over.
You don't have to be smart. No need to.
Pro tip, if you are ever putting up cabinet doors or anything that you're going to be painting where it may be tricky to differentiate everything, label stuff so that you aren't scrambling backwards when you get to the point where you're ready to paint, trying to figure out where everything goes.
When the wind blows and the windows are closing, you let the world know what has been. There's no use going back, wishing back. Cutting grass and chopping wood can be romantic. Sipping coffee under the apple tree, this gentle manly you. Oh, you're a good man, quite the best man. Oh, yes, I know. When the wind blows and the windows are closed.
Something that we've been doing that has been really helpful and will probably preserve the life of our locks is the little knob comes out and unscrews off of here, so you can adjust how deep it sits in here whenever the closet is closed. And so over time that could unscrew a little bit or get screwed in a little bit tighter, and if that happens then it doesn't seat as well and you can have issues with it not wanting to shut or open. And so we've been putting a little bit of Loctite on the threads and then adjusting it exactly where we want it, and I think that that'll help just with preserving everything and saving us frustration later on down the road.
And the windows are closing. You let the world know that what has been has been. And there's no use looking back, going back, wishing back. Oh, wishing back.
Here we go. It is just an absolutely beautiful morning. It's about 9:30, 10 o'clock or so, and we made a ton of progress yesterday, but we were a little bit short on hinges, so we ended up having to make an emergency run to Home Depot, and then that stopped us for the day. But today, I think we're honestly, I know I've said this before, and I was overly optimistic, but since we only have one closet left, I think we're gonna get it all done today. I don't know if we're gonna get to the painting, but everything is going to be hung, and that's really, really exciting. And I just have to say that using the doors that we do have hung, the new ones, it is such a huge improvement on what we had before. Solid wood just feels so much better than OSB, and it feels so much more solid, so much more reliable. I don't feel like the door is gonna crumble apart whenever I open it in my hands. It's just been a real life improvement. So
Don't force me out of bed in your society. Don't push me down the road you've been down. Don't try to fix my head, it's just your anxiety. Don't hush me now, cause I just wanna shout.
it's supposed to start raining around noon today, but I'm so excited to finally be able to start painting that I'm gonna try to get a few of the cabinet doors done now. And then over the next few days, when it's supposed to be raining, I'll probably have to move this operation indoors, but This is the part where I can shine, because for the last little while that we've been doing all this, Stuart has been doing the bulk of the legwork with getting all the hardware installed and everything. There really wasn't much that I could do because that's kind of outside of my area of expertise, but painting I can handle. And so that's what I'm going to be contributing to this whole project, and it's the part that I've been really looking forward to the most, because once the painting's done, the project is going to be done, and that means we are well over the halfway point in this whole thing. So I'm going to go ahead and get my little painting station set up and get started.
Stay quiet when there's so much left to say. I'm not buying no mirage of suburban life when there's a fire raging just outside our door. You talk about peace on earth and the summer of love while you're sleeping on pills through the war. Get out your bomb and fly away. We'll be dancing with our hands in the air when our new dawn is rising. We'll be dancing with our hands in the air when our new dawn is rising. We'll be dancing to the break of dawn.
So I finished the first set of the cabinet doors, and as you saw, I think they look really, really nice. And I think we'll be able to get them mounted tonight once they're finished completely setting up and drying. But it started to rain, as you can see, which we knew that was probably gonna happen. It was in the forecast. So let's go inside and I'll show you my little setup and where I'm going to be painting for the next day or so until I get this all done. I have all of my painting supplies. I have the table taped up and ready to go. I have some plants to keep me company and a view, so not too shabby. I think this will work really well, and plus it's less humid in here than it is outside, and I think that'll be better for painting.
I spend most of my time viewing what I want from the outside. I comb it over like it's the scene of a crime. The only guilty I find staring back at me in the mirror at night, stuck in place just waiting for a green light. But I can't lie awake for someone else to say I can live my the only comfort I've found is blending in with another crowd. When things go wrong, well,
Hey babe, I'm finished.
No, I keep asking for permission. No, I keep asking for permission. Why do I keep asking?
By the time I got done painting and cleaned up and everything last night, it was about 8:30, 9 o'clock. And so I called it quits for the night. And this morning we went and hung up all the freshly painted doors. And even though it was completely exhausting and my back hurt and my head hurt and everything hurt from just being hunched over that table for 2 solid days, it was definitely worth it. It looks so nice, and especially the bunkhouse. Everywhere else you really can't tell a difference because we use the same paint color and the cabinet doors look so similar. So really, other than above the sink where we added 2 more doors to keep things from falling out, everything looks pretty similar. But back in the bunkhouse, there is definitely a huge difference, and I really like it a lot. It has fulfilled all of my wildest dreams for how I wanted this space to look whenever we were finished with it. So let me go ahead and show you. I know I'm postponing it. I think you guys are gonna like it a lot too. I'm so thrilled.
Leaves turning yellow, I'm back where we first met. It is raining, but all I can see.
I feel like we're sitting exactly where we were for one of those thumbnails.
We are. There's only so many places to sit around here. But I feel like we can finally get back to living our lives now that this cabinet project is over.
Yeah, especially with all the rain we had recently. She was painting indoors for a whole day. She had a table
day and
set
a
up.
half.
Yeah.
It was a lot. It was a huge project. I feel like there were several points where you and I maybe had some regrets.
Yeah, some of those little buttons are really finicky. And like I said, I put it in a review on Amazon that she linked before. But I would still buy them again, but it's just only based on the price point.
You would buy them again?
I would
really?
buy them again only based on a price point, and I would maybe give it would not be, say, 7 out of 10. It would not be a passing grade. It would probably be a 5.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
It really was not good, but just because of the price point, that's the only reason I would buy them again. But that was probably the most challenging thing because it took the longest, and it was the most meticulous thing to do, to get it all perfect so that the buttons actually work and lock the doors closed.
Yeah, that was mind-numbing, to say the least. And like I've said all along, and we said this at one point earlier too, I think, if you're not the kind of person who's very mechanically inclined and really knows how to work with tools, those buttons are not the way to go. There are other options. If it had been just me by myself doing this, I would have figured something else out because it was beyond my ability 100%. And I think it probably would be beyond most people's unless you just have a ton of patience. So keep that in mind if you decide to do something like that. But I don't think we'll ever have to worry about our cabinet doors flying open when we're driving down the road ever again. And that's a really good feeling because we've definitely been there, and walking into a mess after you've been on the road for like 8 hours it's a nightmare.
It's not a fun thing. So all in all, we got cabinet doors done. We got the little buttons hinged, all that stuff. She got them all painted, and pretty much every space we have now is closed. And that's a really good feeling to know that we can travel and things won't pop open.
And do you think, like on a scale of 1 to 10, from how I used to paint when we first started renovating to how I paint now, would you say that I've improved?
Oh boy. Oh. Yes. I'm gonna leave it at that.
There's a learning curve to everything you do, and I feel like this RV has made me improve on some areas that I didn't realize I was lacking in before. So
There's transferring paint from a brush or a roller, and then there is having a finished product that looks good. There's two different things. It's none of the stuff we've done is really that crazy, but it all has added up.
It has.
And so it's a really good thing for someone that wants to be handy and wants to have something that they can put some sweat equity into. I've really enjoyed having this RV. I think only for that reason. If lightning struck this thing and it caught on fire, I would still not regret having this because it's been a great experience.
Yeah.